What's going on, shoe fanatics? Welcome back to the channel. Today I have a special review. It's one of those ones that's going to fly under the radar for the rest of the year, but I think if you're an actual fan of shoes, you might actually like this particular one. Let's go ahead and get into it. Of course, you guys know I love a special box today. You definitely got one of those. Typically on Jordan 3s, you have a black panel with a Jumpman and cement splatter all over it. Of course, today you have a K54 inspired box. We have a two-tone box, black and white. You have a glossy finish on it with the K54 basketball symbol, as well as an Eiffel Tower kind of triangle on it. I'm trying to zoom in here. I push the box forward a little bit so you guys can kind of see this kind of pattern in there. Of course, the black and white theme, which was the theme for this year's K54 tournament. Rounding out those details, of course, you have the K54 logo, which is a Q in the basketball, as well as the Jumpman logo. Size tag reads Air Jordan 3 Retro Q, Summit White Off Noir. Now, before I forget, the additional colorways not listed on here are Game Royal, Sunset Orange, and Sail. I know you guys love Sail. Once you open the flip lid, of course, you have the wax paper, the K54 logo, as well as the Eiffel Tower triangle logo, and of course, Jumpman logos to get you that co-branding feel. And then, ladies and gentlemen, I'm beyond pleased to present to you the Air Jordan 3 K54. Now, if you're new here, the first thing we do is talk about the shoe and then talk about the shoe, so let's go ahead and get right into it. On the bottom, you have that classic Air Jordan 3 sole, sunset orange radio traction pattern, and of course, you have the Game Royal blue here. As I mentioned in my previous Nina Chanel video, whenever you have a Jordan here, you're gonna have a Jordan logo on the back. Whenever you have Nike here, you're gonna have a Nike Air in the back, but more on that a little bit later. Flipping it up to the midsole. Now, this is the part that really turns people away because people are tired of Sail, except I think Sail is a great touch because Sail adds dimension to the shoe. You have to be careful adding just white on the midsole because depending on what kind of material and colors on the mudguard, it can make the shoe look a lot more bland, and especially even this one does. So Sail's a nice touch. Now here you have a glossy versus more of an eggshell finish, and it may look like the shoe has a different color midsole between the back and the front, but I'm pretty sure it's Sail just with two different finishes. Now moving up to the mudguards, I feel like this is where the shoe really shines and gets its elevated look from. You have this suede in place of the traditional typical elephant print, which I actually do like for this model. And the suede is not just any kind of boring suede. It's actually a good in-hand feeling and looking suede. It's a nice off noir colorway. And that suede is on the toe cap, the eye stays, upper collar, as well as here on the back mudguard. And something unique about that suede, the raw edges are actually that sunset orange colorway. Very unique, very different, and very cool in my opinion. That sunset orange is also on the bottom and top eyelets of the shoe itself. Moving up to the tongue, of course, you can see you have a white tongue that has this nice, smooth, supple leather and a stitched Jumpman logo on the right shoe. And on the left shoe, you have the K54 logo in blue. Just for you guys' knowledge, the shoe does have the suede characteristics that has potential color migration, basically saying the suede may bleed if you don't take care of it. So do due diligence and buyer beware. As you can see, you have black flat laces in here, but thankfully you do have a white lace in this Move to Zero initiative box, which I think I may actually go with. The black laces look great, but I think a nice white lace will give it a nice clean look. Coming a little bit closer, hopefully the camera will pick this up, but there is a K54 logo and Eiffel Tower logo imprinted on the actual sock liner. Again, premium elevated look. I really like this a whole lot. And again, hopefully the camera will pick this up, but the insole of the left shoe has a K54 logo on the insole. Now, as far as the actual upper itself, I'm really digging the upper. I mean, this upper does have a nice tumbled leather to it. It's really clean, really nice. Summit White is a great colorway for this. And again, I keep using the words elevated and premium. As far as Jordan Brand's concerned, I mean, this is pretty much a premium prop as far as your leather quality and look is gonna come. So really good. Then of course, finally, you have the back heel tab, the staple of the Air Jordan 3 and 4. This particular one, I'm actually glad they came with this. It's pretty nice. Has a dual logo tab. Okay, so like I mentioned, whenever you have Jordan on the back, you're gonna have a Jumpman logo somewhere in the back. On the actual heel tab, there's a K54 logo in black, which is then covered with the translucent cover with the Jumpman logo. Co-branding at its finest. As far as the shoe itself is concerned, that's pretty much it. I'm really feeling though how much they bumped up and put much more thought process into the quality and materials of the shoe compared to your typical run-of-the-mill Jordan 3 in the general release. In my opinion, the shoe gives off high-end collab vibes and high-end collab materials without high-end price and high-end height. Now, K54 was named after its original location, which was at 54 Quai de la Loire in Paris. That tournament started in 2003, some 21 years ago. Now, the great thing about the tournament is it blends urban culture, street ball, fashion, music, hip hop, everything into one big spectrum. Now, at this point, it's Europe's and probably the entire world's biggest street ball tournament. Now, imagine taking all the stuff that you see at the Rucker and expand that times 200. And that's what K54 has turned into. It has global participation. Teams from all over the world come to compete at K54 tournament. Every year for 2 days, street ball legends, NBA players, musicians, artists, people of all walks of life all descend on the K54 tournament, adding to the prestige of this special place. The tournament really promotes diversity, especially among color and gender lines. It also seeks to foster a sense of community by empowering youth to show what can be accomplished. And this is where Jordan Brand steps in to add to those abilities. Jordan Brand has recognized the electrifying presence and ability of the tournament and has decided to partner with them to create things like this. Jordan Brand has created these exclusive footwear and apparel collections. These Jordan 3s, a couple of Jordan 3s from a couple of years ago, Jordan 8s and Jordan 1s, there are a ton of kicks that Jordan Brand has created in conjunction with this tournament. In addition to that, Jordan Brand athletes also support the tournament. Former players like Maya Moore, Carmelo Anthony, current ones like Jason Tatum and Russell Westbrook, of course, the man MJ himself. And that's what makes the entire thing so special. All that participation really cements K54 as a major player and icon in the street ball and basketball world as a whole. Now back to the shoe. Now I'm aware some of you think the shoe is too bland, too plain, or too redundant. When you take a look at the white cement 3 or even the Craft 4 like I mentioned earlier, you have to ask yourself, why do I need another white Jordan 3? And the answer is, you really don't. You really don't have to have another white Jordan 3. Now, as an example, between these two shoes, you may say there's enough diversity where you might be able to warrant having both shoes at the same time. Whereas the white cement 3 and the K54 3, these shoes are much more similar. And then you may say, hey, white cement 3 is good enough for me. Except if you take a look at the Craft 3 and let's say the Alma Maniere 3, 9 times out of 10, you're almost most certainly going to choose the Alma Maniere 3. Now, the question is, why is that? And most likely it's because of the elevated material, the premium feel that you get when you wear this shoe. Because after all, while the shoes are similar in tone and nature, the premium feel of the Alma Maniere takes this one up a notch. So I submit to you that while yes, the Air Jordan 3 white cement is classic and iconic, there's a little bit of a premium feel that comes with this shoe that may elevate it at least on foot feel and look over the white cement. And trust me, I'm not talking blasphemous about the white cement 3. I'm just simply saying that there's a lot of appeal to this shoe that goes beyond just the colorway, particularly storytelling, which I think still matters, as well as material feel. But hey, that's just one man's opinion. As far as picking this shoe up, if you're in the US, you will not find this shoe in stores or on any online US retail. This shoe was a European or at least global exclusive that the US was exempt from. The shoe did launch on the European sneakers app as well as some European in-store retailers. As far as we're concerned, we are out of luck. The only place currently I believe you can get this shoe is StockX or GOAT. Now, for some, it may not be worth the hassle, but as far as I'm concerned, I'm definitely happy to have this in my collection. Especially for a price point of only $200 US, this shoe has a very similar on-foot feel to the Alma Maniere. Again, I'm not directly comparing the two, saying they're on equal footing. I'm simply saying that the K54 is definitely a good shoe and worth picking up, especially if you don't have any of the other shoes that I mentioned. Now, I have not checked in a while. With the exception of the Craft 3, the K54, I think, is actually the cheaper option between the white cement 3 and especially the Alma Maniere 3. So if you don't have any white Jordan 3s and you know this was not your cup of tea, this one is actually a pretty good runner-up bang for buck wise. Let me know down in the comments how you feel about K54 Jordan 3, how you feel about the K54 line in general. And guys, until the next one, I have been Jay Shoe Fanatic. Do me a favor. Hit the like, share, comment, subscribe. Do all the good YouTube stuff everybody always tells you to do. All right? I have been Jay Shoe Fanatic, and I'm out of here.